covering Death vs. Heard, Marilyn Manson, pop culture, things like that. Today I got an article here from Mel Magazine, which is called Death Influencers Are Already Creating Anti-Evan Rachel Wood Propaganda. That's the headline, as if we haven't been researching this also for a very long time, even years now, I'd say. Having realized they could go viral and up their view counts by covering or saturating the Depp vs. Heard trial, TikTokers and YouTubers have set their sights on what they see as a parallel case: Evan Rachel Wood's sexual abuse allegations against Marilyn Manson. Well, what do you know about her? Did you mention off the bat she faked being an FBI agent? Did you mention that she has no evidence? That no one she knows has any evidence? Did you mention that her girlfriend Ilma Gore is also known for pulling hoaxes? No, you didn't. What you did is you set it up that because it gets views and because it could be possibly profitable, that's what it is. Well, you know what? If Evan Rachel Wood had real evidence, it would be the same exact thing. But we would be on Evan Rachel Wood's side, and we'd say, here, look, Amber was proved to be false, but Evan Rachel Wood is the real thing. Now it's time to defend a woman. But what happened is Evan Rachel Wood apparently has no evidence, and the allegations are really, really old. Let's see what we got. Over the course of the 6-week trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, dozens of digital micro-celebrities emerged. With their live stream viewing parties, YouTube analysis, and constant meme making, they were able to brand themselves as pseudo-experts and personalities relevant to the public's perception and understanding of the case. For the record, I've been covering Depp vs. Heard a little over 2 years now. I didn't jump in new. And even if I did, that's what people do on YouTube. They look at a topic, they see what's out there in the news, in the mainstream, getting attention, and they pitch in their opinion on it. And if they're not good at that, people won't watch it. It's pretty simple. There's over 11 million monetized channels. It's honestly not that easy to just break right in there and get a viewership. So these people act like someone snapped their fingers, and just because the case is big, they get that viewership. There's probably tens of thousands of channels out there trying to do the same thing, but the ones that do get noticed are because they're saying good things, accurate things, making accurate predictions, and the audience trusts them. One YouTuber creator named Colonel Kurtz, who's been posting for the last year, more than doubled her subscribers and view counts over the last 30 days simply by covering the trial. And I've got a video on her channel. It's got about 40,000 views, doing really good. So props to her. I hope she gets 10 times the size she is, and that would be great. Let's see what else we got. Frequently, these micro brands were steeped in misogyny and vitriol toward Heard. But now, with the trial having ended, creators need new content in line with their narrative of women as false accusers. But if they're not false accusers, then you know what? We're going to say they're not. We're going to be happy to support women. But that's not what's going on here. You know who looks like they're pretty bad in my eyes? Ezra Miller seems pretty guilty right now of stuff that Ezra's doing. So I'm not on Ezra's side. And as Mel's Miles Clee predicted last week, they've immediately found it in Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson. Well, wait a minute. What are we talking about here? Facts? Evidence? Or are we talking about your narrative you're trying to spin? We didn't find it. Evan Rachel Wood went out in front of Congress in 2018, and since then people have been pretty suspicious. So the people who just found it are the people who are complaining about it. Those are the people who actually just found it. Let's be clear. Let's get it right. In their telling, Wood, Manson's former fiancée, is the villainous Heard parallel who concocted a multi-person plot to destroy Manson's reputation amid the Me Too movement. Let's not forget to mention she does actually know Amber Heard. After Wood went public in 2021 with allegations of years of grooming, sexual abuse, and emotional manipulation against Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner, over a dozen others came forward with similarly horrific claims of physical and sexual assault from him as well. By the way, Evan Rachel Wood and Ilma Gore emailed them and invited them and told them to jump on board if they had anything, if they wanted to come out. So it did seem pretty coordinated. If we didn't have that on the table, it might be different. If they had evidence, pictures, police report, medical report, it might be different, but they don't. All of these allegations have been brought to the LA District Attorney, but they've either been dropped or not investigated. And the reason they've been dropped is for lack of credibility and lack of evidence. Please mention the facts. Manson is now suing Wood for defamation, much in the same vein of Depp's case against Heard, and I hope he wins because it seems like he's got a good case there. Now, let me backtrack. I hope the truth comes out, let me say. I hope he wins according to what we know now. If she comes out with actual evidence, real pictures, real video, medical reports, real reliable witnesses, all right, let's judge it fair. But so far, I haven't seen anything except character assassination and their opinion on what he said in songs and things like that. You could probably show that stuff in court, but, you know, it's going to count as opinion, not fact. And Greta Aurora tweets out, who is on Manson's side, by the way, they're already panicking. Another famous woman may be exposed as a liar, and they have good reason to. The world will soon see that Evan Rachel Wood is Amber Heard 2.0. And this person knows a lot about Manson. She's met Manson, and she seems a lot more trustable than this article here, obviously. Despite the several collaborative reports, nearly 25 years of accusations and admissions on Manson's part of threatening our word and nearly attempting murder, Colonel Kurtz and her ilk have begun branding this case as Depp vs. Heard 2.0, or an even more extreme example of women making false allegations against men. Case in point, Kurtz titled a recent video, "The Hoax Against Manson is Amber Heard vs. Johnny Depp on Steroids." She picked some good title somehow. I mean, I'm not exactly sure about that. Like, billions of people are watching Depp vs. Heard, but I know what she means as far as facts and what's going on. It might be. And Colonel Kurtz is much more trustable than the media. For many Depp fans like Kurtz, the cases are deeply connected. Depp and Manson are close friends, as are Heard and Wood. From their perspective, the accusations against both men are part of a campaign orchestrated by Heard and Wood to take the men of Hollywood down. As such, they're treating Heard and Wood as part of a broader movement to expose gold-digging women and lying bitches, as some TikTokers and memes have illuminated. And I told you, she knows Amber. We're not sure exactly how tight they are, but she knows her. Is it impossible to think that somebody like Amber, who tried to pull this off against Johnny, was talking to Wood and saying, "Why don't you try this with Manson?" I don't know. Seems like a really reasonable thing to think. It's not something you just like dismiss, like, "Oh, that's crazy. Oh, you're accusing them of plotting these things." There's a lot to go on to back that up. That's the thing. It's not imagination. It's not just talking and talking and saying, "Hey, maybe they're doing this, guys." We're not just randomly pointing fingers. There are receipts out there. The thing is, this movement doesn't seem dedicated to the truth or male victims of abuse, as would be commendable. Instead, it seems to highlight the ways in which women supposedly can't be trusted and turns these faulty revelations into public spectacle. Now, here's the problem. Don't use the word women. When you use the word woman, you mean nurses, teachers, the manager at McDonald's. We're not talking about those people. We're specifically talking about celebrities who are married to very, very rich men or dated very, very rich men and just make up stories of abuse without evidence and want to get a lot of money for it. That's what we're talking about. We don't mean women in general. Not at all. The swiftness with which the Manson case has become the new hot topic only highlights this further, with Heard now facing what they see as justice. They need another enemy to capitalize upon, and with Wood in their crosshairs, they can keep the content and view counts flowing, which is not true, by the way. Very, very, very not true. Don't just make views equal to Depp vs. Heard. Depp vs. Heard was a phenomenon. That's not going to happen again for a very long time, if ever, in that way. It blew up channels from like 1,000 subs to 20, 30, 40, over 100,000. In the likes I've only seen once before with Disney Star Wars coming out from like 2016 on. Those are the only two things I could think of that really, really shot up channels, at least in entertainment and celebrity news, not counting politics. Point is, totally false. The views will be maybe pretty good with Manson, but nowhere near what happened with Amber and Johnny. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Doing shoutouts, special thanks. Check out Colonel Kurtz. I got a video on there. Probably make another one at some point about Depp vs. Heard or Manson. And if you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't subscribe and don't consider it, I'll be pretty sad about it. But I'll move on, make a new video. Something like that. Rant over for now. See you next time.